going to talk about this.
What's this?
Can anyone read that this afternoon on Queen Street? If you look at the yellow, maybe stand on your head, turn your eyeballs inside out. But it says evidence. And you know what? It's obvious that evidence exists. Evidence for loads of different things exists. But you know what? I'm going to be really controversial in today's day and age. I'm going to talk about somebody who people don't like talking about. But if you'll stick around for 5 minutes, maybe you'll learn something new. And you know what? I believe that this is the most important things you could ever think about. And it might even change your life. I want to talk about evidence that God exists. Now you might say, oh, you can never ever prove to me that God exists. And you know what? Partly you'd be right, because I can't. But what I can do is, I can lay out some evidence that you can choose to take on board or not, and think about. And the first evidence I want to give you this afternoon that God exists is this. Might be a bit hard to see that because the blue's quite light, but it says creation. You know what, if I told you that Cardiff Castle down the road was built by piling a big pile of bricks up and then putting a stick of dynamite in the middle and blowing them all up, and every brick landed on top of each other in the perfect formation of Cardiff Castle, what would you say to me? You'd say it's rubbish, innit? You're a nutter. Well, you know what? You guys are much, much more complexly designed than Cardiff Castle. You're created. You know what? The alternative that some people believe is this. Some people believe in a Big Bang. You know what? I used to be in the Marines and I blew a few things up, and let me tell you something, it destroyed stuff, it blew it up, it didn't make stuff, it didn't create stuff. You know what? Everything that you see around you wasn't created by a Big Bang. You were designed, and you were designed by God. The second evidence that God exists is this.
Oh, which one? Oh, the older one, yeah? Oh, okay. Oh, he's younger. Yeah, of course, yeah.
That says conscience. You know what? No scientist will ever be able to explain to you where your conscience comes from. You know what your conscience is? You know that thing that tells you when you've done something wrong? Maybe it niggles at you when you go to bed and you've done those wrong things. You know what? When I was in the Marines, I did lots and lots of things that I'm not proud of. And there came a point where my conscience was just plaguing me and bugging me. You know what? You've done those things wrong. We've all done them. We've all lied. We've all taken things that aren't ours sometimes. And we've all walked away from God who made us. And our conscience tells us that those things are wrong. But the reason that you've got a conscience is because you're different from the rest of the animals. You're not just an animal. You were created in the image of God. You've got a conscience. The third evidence I want to give you that God exists is a person. And his name is often used as a swear word nowadays. Instead of like a four-letter swear word, some people use this name. Some people use the name of Christ as a swear word, but the Christ I'm talking about is Jesus Christ. And he existed 2,000 years ago. He was a real person. And he basically said, if you've seen me, you've seen God. That's what he said. So you've got to make a decision whether he was lying or telling the truth. Because he claimed to be God in human flesh, walking on this earth. But the main reason that Jesus came to the earth. It wasn't to just do miracles, raise people from the dead, but it was to deal with a problem that we've all got. And we've all got it, and our conscience tells us that we've got it, and the problem is this. The problem is sin, all those bad things that we've done. And those things that we've done are enough to keep us out of heaven forever. That's bad news. It's like a barrier between us and God. And no matter what we try and do to get through it ourselves, we never can. We can never take it away. But I've got some good news for you. Jesus did something to take that out of the way, to get rid of that barrier. And what he did to do that was he had to die for the bad stuff that me and you have done. He had to die for our sin. And as he was dying on the cross, he was literally taking the punishment that you and me deserve for all the bad things that we've done wrong, because he loves you. And as he hung there, he made a way that your sin could be forgiven and wiped out. They took him down from the cross and they buried him in a tomb. And after 3 days, he was raised by God from the dead. So he's able to help anyone who comes to him. You know, the fourth evidence that I want to give that God exists is this. Change lives. You know, there's loads of people on planet Earth who say that Jesus changed my life. I couldn't do it myself, but he did it. And you know what? I'm one of those people. And that's evidence. You know, I used to go around doing all sorts of stuff that I couldn't stop doing myself. But when Jesus met with me and showed me that he died for me, he changed my life. And you know what, guys? If you come to him today, he'll change your life. He'll make you into a new person with a new start. I hope these things have made sense this afternoon. If you want any free leaflet, we've got free leaflets. If you want to talk to any of my friends or me, then just come and speak to us. But God bless you. Thanks for listening. Have a good day. Do you want a leaflet, guys?
Yeah, please. Oh, it's like, it's different with me, see, because with my family, my daughter's not with a